Made $100 million, you know, and he's his own boss. He can say and do what he wants to do, having a great team.
Yeah.
Because no one person can do it by himself. That was the core of the team.
Gotcha.
You know, and it was a tremendous sacrifice, you know, especially for me. I worked like 15 years straight, 7 days a week, 20 hours a day.
Wow.
You know, that whole middle part of my life,
Yeah.
it didn't exist. It didn't exist.
And now you have this egg on your face and things are falling apart. And now people are wondering, did you get screwed, or was it your own financial ignorance, and now you're bitter?
People taking shots at a great fighter, Mayweather. Probably the same people that were, applauding him and saying how great he was at one point, and now they're taking shots at him like they're almost, like they get pleasure out of seeing a great fall, potentially.
You're right,
fall.
but when you call yourself the money man, you do it to yourself a little bit too.
No, I can't argue with that.
Leonard Ellerbe just shared his thoughts on Floyd Mayweather blowing his $1.1 billion fortune and going broke. He says the outcome felt predictable. Having once worked closely with Floyd, he witnessed extravagant spending habits that eventually led to serious financial trouble.
I've been saying from day one what it is that, and they know, everybody laughed at me. They laughed at me. They say, oh, you know, he just talking nonsense. I've been told, all of you.
Leonard Ellerbe recently spoke about Floyd Mayweather reportedly losing his billion-dollar fortune and ending up broke, saying it didn't come as a surprise. Having worked closely with Floyd in the past, he saw firsthand how excessive spending over time led to major financial problems.
At the end of the day, when you're on top, when you're at the top, you can expect criticism. It just comes with success. And it's all about how you handle things. And me personally, none of this personal. None of it's personal.
Leonard Ellerbe explains that once Floyd Mayweather reached a high level of fame and success, criticism was inevitable. And what really matters is how he chooses to deal with it.
Who formed his own company.
Right.
But he was the first one that had a team surrounded by him, that our focus was the business and his focus was the boxing. And in turn, we built the brand, built Mayweather Promotions.
Yeah.
And Floyd became his own boss.
Wow.
And that was the
Leonard Ellerbe says Floyd could have built a solid business career if he had taken his ventures more seriously and made smarter, more careful decisions.
Because he's still waiting on the 1.5 from Floyd Mayweather. He made this video simultaneously with the beef with Le'Veon, and I don't know, maybe it's coincidence, maybe it isn't.
Floyd Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao 2. The fight nobody asked for except me. I need this because if Floyd wins, he can finally pay me my $1.5 million. I don't care about the legacy fight. I don't care that these men have a combined age of 100 years. I care that Floyd Mayweather, the best boxer alive, uses those same hands that made him 100 million to Venmo me my money. And Floyd, if you're watching this, win it and pay me back or I'm gonna send my goons after you. Gotcha. Hey.
I really don't know why I watched that. Yeah, listen, dude. Logan is, again, functionally a coward for not doing this. I was really excited for it, too. I couldn't wait. That was about to be content, son. But, I mean, okay, yes, I understand if he is under WWE contract, they're not going to allow him to do so.
Logan Paul takes a jab at Floyd Mayweather Jr., saying he's still waiting to be paid the $1.5 million he claims is owed from their exhibition fight.
Oh, yeah, like you said, he was Mayweather, Money Mayweather, and now he's suing because he went through his money, he blew his money, whatever. Look, I don't know what the truth is fully in there. I know Steven Espinoza was named. He ran Showtime at the time. He was named him. I never was a fan of Espinoza. Again, I'm not afraid to say and not mince my words when I feel a certain way. And and I've taken arrows for it, and of course I've also taken some praise for it. That people say, hey, Teddy's going to say what he feels. I was never a fan of him. I never thought he was a man that kept his word. I never thought he really did a great job over Showtime. I mean, they put some good fights on because the fights were available, because the landscape made it.
Teddy Atlas points out that many who once supported Floyd Mayweather Jr. are now making fun of him and laughing at his biggest downfall.
Floyd is rich at right now?
What's that?
His peace of mind. When I send him things, like I send you things when it's pertaining to you, when he gets the time, he'll call me and he say, hey, Wack, what's that? And I tell him, he said, that's nonsense. He said, well, as long as they trying to figure me out, they not gonna be able to figure out what they need to do. And he continues to move. I will say this without saying too much, that I've seen him pass on some big deals based upon business he already has on the table. But again, I've been to his home. I talk to him regular. He's my business partner.
Wack 100 says Floyd Mayweather Jr. isn't broke, arguing that he's still rich in peace of mind and isn't bothered by rumors or what people think about his life and career.
But he was seeing how much Floyd was making, right? And Floyd himself was flaunting himself like he was the guy who was making that kind of money. And for all intents and purposes, I assume he was. Everybody assumed he was, and it seemed like he thought he was, because he wasn't complaining. He was showing off, you know? This is why, as I get older, I feel like, and everybody always tells you this when you're young, like, keep your finances private, you know, and this is why I think this is a big reason why. First and foremost, you notice that if you don't keep your finances private, everybody and their mother asks you for money constantly. And they don't ask you for...
That happens either way.
And they don't ask you... Well, people assume you have money, but if you flaunt it, you definitely... They confirm you have money. And they don't ask you for money like you need to buy the Rolex or the Lamborghini. They'll guilt you into it. They need... Their mother's dying in the hospital. They need to pay for a funeral. Their kid is sick. Like, they guilt you into it, and you almost feel bad not giving it.
Holly Malignaggi says that if Floyd Mayweather Jr. had kept his finances private, no one would be questioning his wealth. But by constantly showing it off, he made people pay closer attention to his money.
We are going to go through in this video. Now, I've been covering boxing for double-digit years. Allow me to take you through it. A simple Google search shows Floyd Mayweather. You type in his name, you're going to see some fight photos and whatnot. But the top stories, and there's multiple stories, and we're going to take a look at some of them. But as mentioned, Business Insider is now reporting what you see on the screen, that Floyd Mayweather is being accused in lawsuits of owing millions of dollars for luxury watches, gold, and rent on palatial apartment, right? The bullet points. Floyd was sued for allegedly failing to pay rent on a luxurious duplex in...
A boxing analyst has broken down the surprising financial decline of Floyd Mayweather, who was once famous for openly displaying his wealth. Over the years, Floyd Mayweather worked with major names like Steven Espinoza and Showtime, but he is now taking legal action against them for millions, claiming there was unpaid money involved. His longtime advisor Al Heyman is not directly connected to this case. The legal problems around Floyd Mayweather are continuing to grow and stacking up one after another. The analyst also points out that Floyd Mayweather's extravagant lifestyle likely played a major role in his financial situation, pointing to his huge collection of luxury cars, expensive jewelry, and even a private jet.
And this sum represents the $500K, $500,000 in arrears plus late fees minus a deposit that Mayweather paid at the start of the lease and the $100,000 catch-up payment. So they deducted what he did submit when he was made aware of this, the $100K, and I guess a deposit. So the remaining balance is that. An attorney for Mayweather did not provide a comment by deadline. He has not responded to the lawsuit in court. In a separate legal matter, so we've already went over one with this luxury condo in Manhattan, right? But a separate legal matter, a Miami jeweler sued Floyd Mayweather last month, alleging the boxer owes more than $1 million for jewelry that he took but never paid.
Luxury apartments, high rent expenses, and unpaid bills started building up, which eventually led to lawsuits. A Miami couple who owned the condo Floyd Mayweather rented reportedly claims he fell behind by nearly $500,000 in rent. Although he initially kept up with payments, he later stopped responding to attempts to collect the debt. Analysts say this reflects a wider pattern of overspending, weak financial control, and relying on others for money decisions, which eventually caught up with Floyd Mayweather. The analyst also points out that fame and massive earnings don't always guarantee long-term financial stability, and even top athletes can run into serious money problems if they fail to manage their wealth wisely.
I don't know, like there's guys who have a lot of money, okay? For me, I could go into a jewelry store, spend 20,000 at the time, like nothing. Like, you know what, I didn't plan on going there. I bought a Ferrari. I went to with my friend to go check out a Ferrari he was gonna buy. I went there and I'm like, I got this in my account, I could buy this right now. You know, like that, you know? And I'm not saying that's smart, what I'm saying is,
your accountant must have loved you.
yeah, really. but what I'm saying is, I got good money for that when I sold it. I gotta be honest. The used car market came back at the time. But anyway, what I'm saying is, it could go like that, okay? That kind of money. But bro, 340 million? That's not Ferrari, but that's a lot of Ferraris, a lot of houses.
But Floyd had a lot of Ferraris, and that's the thing about Floyd. Like, yes, is that way too much money? Yes, that's a crazy amount.
Paulie Malignaggi and Chris Algieri break down how Floyd Mayweather Jr., despite earning huge amounts of money, still ended up in financial trouble. Paulie Malignaggi says it's difficult to imagine someone of Floyd Mayweather's level letting such large sums of money slip away without noticing, comparing everyday spending like buying a Ferrari or expensive jewelry to the massive scale of Floyd Mayweather's income, which needs far tighter financial control. Chris Algieri adds that at the peak of Floyd Mayweather's career, even losing track of earnings from a single fight could result in significant losses. And over time, these small oversights stack up and the mistakes begin to compound, eventually creating serious financial issues.
Lack of an entire fight person, more than one fight, multiple fight
at the height of your career.
$340 million. There's nights where you didn't make that much money in a night.
But we heard about stuff like this with Mike Tyson back in the day. Yeah. Big money losses, people taking advantage of him, a number of different things. Now, all that being said and done, 10 years is the point. That is the major point of all of this. Because when you look about this now, 10 years, where does this come from? It makes me think that someone's gotten in his ear. And where does this come from out of nowhere? Is he going through the books now, 10 years later? No, of course not. Someone else is. Someone else is probably telling him, hey man, this is like this, this is like that. So you
think it did happen?
I don't know. I think regardless of whether it happened or it didn't,
that's what I'm wondering.
Unless it's coming out of nowhere, unless he literally is just getting
because he's losing his mind, because there's a lot of rumors about him losing money, right?
Losing money, being I don't want to say destitute, but the old saying, how the mighty.
Paulie Malignaggi compares the situation to past cases, pointing out fighters like Mike Tyson who also faced major financial losses because of poor money management and people around them taking advantage. Both analysts stress that Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s financial problems didn't happen overnight, but developed over many years after earning massive amounts of money. The discussion also suggests that someone may have recently alerted him or is now carefully reviewing his financial accounts. Overall, it highlights the reality that fame and huge wealth don't automatically guarantee financial security, even for the biggest earners in sports.
But the fact that Floyd would encounter some financial issues post his boxing career is not in any way a surprise to me. When you see the types of things that, if you believe anything that he puts on his social media, the travel that he does, the places he goes, and the amount of entourage he has, that's like a money pit. Whether you're flying on private jets or you're staying at first class hotels or you're, buying expensive jewelry and cars and bags and you name it. It's all good when you're making those gigantic paydays and they're coming in, a couple times a year. You're making 40 million here and 25 million there, or even more, 100 million plus, when he fought the big mega fights with guys like Conor McGregor and Manny Pacquiao. But when that stops, that money Dan
Raphael explains that it wasn't really surprising to see Floyd Mayweather Jr. facing financial struggles after his boxing career. According to Dan Raphael, anyone who closely followed Floyd Mayweather could have predicted this outcome because of how openly he spent and displayed his wealth. His lifestyle was extremely extravagant and highly visible, including private jets, luxury cars, expensive travel, and constant public showings of money. Dan Raphael also points out that Floyd Mayweather lived on a level most people can't even imagine, and the world saw much of it through social media, interviews, and videos.
About the $340 million, it just didn't ring true to me because Al Heyman, who is not named in the suit, but apparently is supposedly part of this problem, whatever. But I mean, I've known Al Heyman and covered Al Heyman's fighters and his business since the day he stepped in boxing in like 2002 with Vernon Forrest. And all that time, and literally in terms of the PBC, you know, a couple hundred fighters that he's dealt with, maybe not personally, but that his team is and his company. To a fighter, you never hear anybody, even when they're retired or they're not with Al anymore, nobody talks bad about him. In fact, if you ask most fighters, they'll tell you how good to them that he has been. That type of money that they've helped him make and the person that he's paid and the guidance that he...
Dan Raphael emphasizes that this type of spending behavior can almost always lead to financial problems over time. He explains that even for someone as successful as Floyd Mayweather Jr., unchecked spending and a strong focus on luxury living can slowly drain even huge earnings. People often saw Floyd Mayweather traveling in style, buying expensive luxury items, and maintaining a lifestyle with very high ongoing costs. In Dan Raphael's view, this situation is a lesson for both athletes and celebrities. No matter how much money someone earns, living beyond what is financially sustainable can lead to serious long-term consequences. The combination of constant luxury spending, high expenses, and weak financial planning helps explain why Floyd Mayweather is now facing money problems despite earning record-breaking paydays throughout his career.
According to TMZ, let's get to the TMZ. Floyd Mayweather sues Showtime, saying, "I'm missing hundreds of millions of dollars." Floyd Mayweather Jr. says he made over $1 billion in earnings over his legendary career, but the 50-0 fighter claims all the money didn't make it to his bank account. He is now suing Showtime, claiming they played a big role in his ex-manager screwing him out of hundreds of millions of dollars. In the lawsuit filed by Floyd in California and obtained by TMZ Sports, Mayweather says he's gunning to recover hundreds of millions of dollars in the misappropriated funds and damages resulting from long-running and elaborate financial fraud.
Fannin breaks down the recent legal moves involving Floyd Mayweather Jr., explaining that after dealing with financial setbacks, Floyd Mayweather has chosen to take legal action against some of his former business partners. Fannin notes that despite earning more than $1 billion over his undefeated career, Floyd Mayweather claims a large portion of that money never reached his personal accounts. The lawsuit is aimed at Showtime and former network president Stephen Espinoza, with accusations tied to alleged financial mismanagement involving Al Heyman, Floyd Mayweather's longtime advisor. Fannin highlights that although Al Heyman is not listed as a defendant, Floyd Mayweather believes he still received major support from Showtime and Stephen Espinoza in managing his funds.
Those parties to see whether or not this is something that Floyd should have known about or did know about or maybe did not understand. Because it seems very, very funny that Floyd would not know that the money was getting paid to Al Heyman and not directly to him. Regardless, I don't know the outcome of that. I will talk about this though. The absolute blatant karma up in Floyd Mayweather's face for all the smack he talked about Muhammad Ali and how Muhammad Ali's name was only worth $50 million and he sold half of his name for $50 million and how he's made so much more money and that makes him all of that. Talked about how Muhammad Ali, I'm sure, or I don't know if he did, but I'd heard, talked about Floyd. Yeah, he did, because he talked about his money and how he had to sell his name because he didn't have his...
Fannin explains that the lawsuit claims money from major fights, including bouts against Manny Pacquiao and Conor McGregor, was allegedly routed into accounts controlled by Al Heyman instead of reaching Floyd Mayweather Jr. When Floyd Mayweather and his team later tried to review Showtime's financial records, they reportedly found the documents missing or inaccessible, which raised further concerns about possible mismanagement. Fannin points out that the case shows how even top athletes can struggle with handling massive amounts of money, where poor oversight and heavy reliance on others can lead to major financial losses. He adds that Floyd Mayweather's legal action is aimed at recovering earnings he believes were wrongly handled, highlighting the complicated ties between fighters, managers, and media networks in professional boxing.
What's going on out there is phasing him or get to him. He doesn't even control his social media. He doesn't see it. I'm telling you, he doesn't see it.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like he's posting himself. He has someone that
he doesn't see it. He doesn't pay any attention. When I need something done, I have to send it to different channels for it to get done. But no, he's definitely not. I mean, we know that. He has tons of businesses going on. They were making accusations that he didn't own the things he owned. You're not gonna find nothing in Floyd's name directly. You're not gonna find, when you're dealing with that type of money and those type of situations, you know this, Vlad, it's set up. It could be a foundation, a trust.
Yeah, shell companies, corporations, LLCs, whatever.
I know some of these people that they'll say they own 40 different companies, but what it is, they're part of an investment.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned for more updates, and we'll see you next time.